Hey, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing great today. So, we've got something really cool to talk about, the brand new update for Persona 3 Reload, version 1.11. I know a lot of people have been waiting to see what Atlus would bring next for this game, especially after all the praise Reload got when it dropped earlier this year. And man, it looks like this new update is bringing back some serious nostalgia while giving fans a reason to jump right back into Tartarus again. So, let's talk about what's actually going on here. Persona 3 Reload, if you somehow missed it, is the full modern remake of the original Persona 3. And Atlus did an incredible job reimagining it for new consoles. The visuals, the voice acting, the smooth battle system, it all came together so well. But fans of the original versions, especially those who grew up with Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES on the PS2, always had one question. Where are those iconic songs by Yumi Kawamura? Like, don't get me wrong, the Reload soundtrack is amazing. Azumi Takahashi and Lotus Juice absolutely crushed it. But there's something about those old school tracks that just hit different. The moment you hear Burn My Dread or Mass Destruction, it instantly takes you back to those long nights of grinding in Tartarus or walking through Iwatadai, listening to When the Moon's Reaching Out Stars. So Atlus finally heard everyone loud and clear and dropped this awesome update to bring those vibes back. Now, version 1.11 isn't some massive overhaul. It's not like they've added a new story chapter or the Answer DLC yet, but what they've done here is special because it's purely for the fans. This update introduces a brand new music pack that adds 8 legendary Persona 3 songs, all sung by the original queen of the P3 era, Yumi Kawamura. These are the kind of tracks that made the series iconic. So now, you can actually swap out the Reload battle music and dungeon themes for the classic tracks from the old days. Here's the list. You get Burn My Dread, Last Battle, Mass Destruction, Deep Mentality, When the Moon's Reaching Out Stars, Want to Be Close, Memories of You, or as fans know it, Kimi no Kyoku, Mass Destruction, P3 FES version, and Brand New Days. That's honestly a killer lineup. These aren't just filler tracks, they're some of the most emotional, nostalgic, and iconic songs in Persona history. It's like Atlus went straight for the heart. What makes this even cooler is that this entire pack is completely free. You don't have to spend a dime, no microtransactions, no DLC purchase. All you have to do is update your game to version 1.11, and the new tracks will be available to use. You can go into your in-game menu, head to System, then config settings, and from there you can actually switch between the different tracks. You can customize the battle BGM, boss battle BGM, and dungeon BGM to match however you want to play. So if you're the kind of person who wants that old school mass destruction energy every time you enter a fight, you can make that your default battle theme. Or if you'd rather hear Burn My Dread, Last Battle during your boss encounters for that extra emotional punch, you can do that too. And bro, let's be real, hearing those classic vocals from Yumi Kawamura again is such a rush. Her voice has this smooth but powerful tone that gives the Persona 3 soundtrack such a distinct feel. It's got that early 2000s Atlus energy, funky, soulful, a little melancholic, and just perfectly tied to the game's themes about life and death. When Memories of You starts playing, it's almost impossible not to get chills. That song hits every time, and if you played the original Persona 3, you know exactly what I mean. It's not just nostalgia, it's emotional muscle memory. What's really nice about this update is that Atlus didn't just throw in the tracks and call it a day. The sound mixing and transitions are done cleanly so that they blend naturally with the Reload environments. The new engine handles the music beautifully. Everything sounds crisp, modernized, and perfectly balanced. Even though these are classic songs, they don't feel out of place in Reload's updated style. So whether you're exploring Tartarus or spending a chill evening at the dorm, everything feels cohesive and polished. Now, one small thing to keep in mind. These music changes only apply to dungeon exploration and battles. So don't expect to suddenly hear Want to Be Close playing when you're hanging out with your social links or walking around Iwatadai Station. That said, even just having the option to bring those classic vibes into the action is already such a great addition. It gives players that freedom to mix modern Persona 3 Reload's energy with the emotional soundscape of the original. And honestly, it's kind of perfect timing for Atlus to drop this update now, because it coincides with the Switch 2 launch on October 23rd, 2025. So players jumping into the game on the new platform will instantly have this feature available. It's a smart move, both as fan service and as a way to make the Reload experience feel even more complete across all consoles. This update might not add story content, but the emotional weight it carries makes it special. Persona has always been about more than just gameplay. It's about the music, the mood, and the emotion you feel while you play. These tracks were the soul of the original Persona 3, and now that soul has found its way back home. Reload may have reimagined everything visually, but now with this update, it finally feels like the bridge between generations is complete. Let's be honest, fans have been asking Atlus for this exact thing for months. Ever since Reload launched, Reddit threads, Twitter posts and Discord chats have been filled with people asking for the classic soundtrack to make a comeback. People were modding the PC version just to restore those songs manually. So for Atlus to step up and give everyone an official, high-quality version for free, that's something you've got to respect. It shows they're listening to the community, and that's a big deal. Another cool touch is that this update is for everyone. All platforms get it at the same time. Whether you're on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, or the upcoming Switch 2, you'll have access to the same content. It's not locked behind exclusivity or region restrictions, so no matter where you play, you can get that perfect nostalgic setup and relive those golden days of Persona 3 while still enjoying everything Reload has to offer. Now, let's talk for a second about how this changes the experience. Persona 3 Reload already has a really energetic tone with its music. Songs like It's Going Down Now or Full Moon, Full Life have that modern Persona production quality. But when you switch things up and bring in mass destruction, suddenly the vibe transforms completely. It becomes a trip down memory lane. That old school hip hop beat with Yumi's voice gives the battles a completely different rhythm. It's hard not to smile when that baby, 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 baby line hits during your first encounter. It's pure serotonin. Or imagine this. You're climbing Tartarus late at night, that familiar blue glow filling the screen, and you've got Deep Mentality playing in the background. There's something haunting but beautiful about that combination. It feels like you're right back in that world again, but with all the refinements Reload brought to the table. It's kind of surreal in the best way possible. And then there's Memories of You. That song is like a time capsule. The emotional connection fans have with that track is unreal. It's one of those rare songs that can bring a tear to your eye, even if you've heard it 100 times. To hear it again through Reload's updated sound system feels like reconnecting with an old friend. You can tell Atlus put care into this. It's not just a random add-on. It's a love letter to the community and to the history of Persona 3. They could have easily saved this for a paid DLC pack or bundled it with something else, but they just dropped it for free because they know what it means to the fans. That kind of gesture is what builds trust between developers and players. It also gets you thinking about what might be next. A lot of people are hoping this could be a hint that Atlus is gearing up for something bigger, maybe the release of The Answer as DLC, or even a new expansion that covers the FES content. Because let's be honest, Persona 3 Reload feels too good to stop here. There's so much potential for Atlus to keep building on this remake, especially now that they've proven they're paying attention to what players actually want. For now, though, this update is more than enough to get fans excited again. It's one of those simple but powerful updates that just reminds you why you love this series. And it's a perfect excuse to jump back into your save file and spend a few more hours in that blue-tinted world, hanging out with your team, fusing some new personas, and taking on the shadows with a soundtrack that feels like home. Honestly, it's kind of poetic. Persona 3 Reload was all about bringing new life to something old, and now, with this update, it's bringing the old back to meet the new. It's the perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation, and that's exactly what this game represents. So yeah, bro, if you've been on the fence about returning to Persona 3 Reload, now's the time. Update your game, head into those settings, swap in those classic tracks, and experience that rush again.